All right, everybody, so looking at some solving today, and just important to remember the steps that we went over in class. So whenever we see a compound inequality, we just want to do one of them at a time. So it looks worse than it is, we just got to take the time to write it out. So our first one, 2x minus 6 is less than 30. And then if we look at the other side now, we also need to solve negative 10 is less than or equal to 2x minus 6. So two different things to do. But the nice thing is the steps are the same for both of them, just with different numbers. So add 6, divide by 2. We're going to get x and 18. So x is less than 18 is the first section that we're going to graph here. So going over to 18 and just going to the left. So still adding 6. This time we are going to get negative 4. Dividing by 2. We're dividing by a positive number, so no need to make any changes here. So x is less than or equal to, sorry, x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So in this case, we are going to the right. So our interval here is going to start at negative 2, and it's going to end at positive 18. So negative 2, comma 18, using the correct parentheses and brackets for our greater than or equal to signs. So making sure that we keep those straight. And as long as we do that, we will be in perfect shape for writing the interval that we're looking for. Nice thing about number 2, it's an OR interval, but they have it separated for you already, so that saves you a little bit of time. So we have negative 4, and we are less than or equal to negative 4. And then for our next one, dividing by negative 4. So remember, if we are dividing by a negative number on both sides, this is when we flip our sign. So we will see that our sign goes the opposite direction. So over at 2, and we are going to infinity from here. So we start at the left at negative infinity, take our first break at positive 4 with a bracket. We have a union here in the center. Start again at 2, and we continue to positive infinity. So both on a number line and an internal notation is what we are looking for here. Last two questions are going to focus on absolute values, what we finished class yesterday doing. Important thing to remember is we still have our plus and minus anytime we see an absolute value. When we have our minus, we multiply by this, which means that we do see that our sign will flip, in this case, to exactly the opposite way. So for plus, we just rewrite exactly what we see. For the minus, we multiply by that negative number, and we do change our inequality sign. So if we're at positive 7, we are less than or equal to it in this case. And if we are at negative 7, we are greater than or equal to it in this case. So we see an interval that comes together nicely with some brackets, because we do have some shaded circles here. Last one, this is where it's going to take us a little bit more solving before we get to that graphing step. We still need to bring that negative 11 over first, so we get the absolute value by itself. Once we get this absolute value by itself, that is where we can split into our plus and into our minus. So 2x minus 5 less than or equal to 5, and then we'll have 2x minus 5 greater than or equal to negative 5. So again, negative side, we are going to flip that sign. So solving steps are going to be the same for both of these, just with different numbers. And again, remember 0 is a number. This is okay. So we are greater than or equal to 0, and we are less than or equal to positive 5. So an interval that comes together, both of these are brackets from 0 to 5. So we're putting together a lot of pieces for our final two questions here, knowing our absolute value solving, understanding the split, understanding flipping our signs, understanding graphing, and then the last piece is understanding that interval notation. So putting all that together is going to be the challenge for today's skill check, the most challenging one we've done so far. So again, take some time on the study guide, make sure you're feeling good, ask questions if you got them. As always, thanks for your hard work. Excited to see what you're able to do on the skill check.